It's the Creek this week,
Creek Week.
and it feels like show and tell.
It is a little
We
bit
got to save the big surprise
for the end.
for the end, but we've got a show and tell, which is one of the signs.
A
that
little
These
sign.
signs. This
Look how well done that is.
Yeah, it's well done, and we're hoping every AC3 family will choose one. Each we have 5 different signs for each of the 5 subjects that we've covered in the Find AC3 series. This is from this last week, Find Joy, and so Alex, just talk a little bit about this series again, like real briefly, like explain the signs.
Yeah, so basically we realize that in this world, people are going through all sorts of different things, right? And so, like the sign says, despairing, find joy. There's a lot of despair in our world. There's a lot of just turmoil and other things going on. And
Division and fear.
and fear and apathy.
Yep.
And I would maybe even argue comfortability with that. But there's just this idea that, okay, these are all things that we're dealing with. Your neighbors are dealing with those things. And let's get some signs in our front yard to say, hey, we have a solution for you.
Yeah, and the solution is Jesus, right? I mean,
Yes.
and you can meet him at your local church,
Yeah.
right? That's where often you can. I'm told you can encounter Jesus.
I'm
at
told.
church.
That's what I've been told.
It depends on the church,
Uh,
but he's been here before. I've seen him.
I can't.
I've seen him. So, so this last week we talked about despair and the contrast of joy, finding joy. And joy is a big biblical idea.
Yes.
But I think, and I'd be curious to hear what you think about this, I think that people really struggle with the idea because they think that joy and happiness are synonymous.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're different words. And especially, I mean, we could talk a lot about original language and go back and look at the Greek and whatnot, but we really don't need to do that. In English, we have 2 different words. And so I'd be curious, Alex, what do you think the difference is between joy and happiness?
Yeah, well, I go straight to James 2. And it says, find joy in all trials and tribulations.
Right.
And I'm like, I remember going there and being like, joy in that. I don't know that I'm going to find happiness.
Yeah, you can't be happy there, so it's something else.
So there's something else. And so when I turn there, I think about the joy is the fact that God put this in front of you and that he's going to carry it through with you.
Yeah.
And so I think joy is a realization of who you belong to and whose you are. And happiness is just the emotional feeling of happiness.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily joy. Joy and happiness can coincide,
Yeah.
but they're very unique in the sense that I'm not going to have happiness in my trial, but I'm going to have joy that God is with me in my trial.
Yeah. Yeah, I have, that's really good. I think, happiness is circumstantial,
Mm-hmm.
and joy is super circumstantial or supra.
That's good.
It's above your circumstances. And I think for me, similarly, it was when I realized that joy can be chosen.
Hold on. Say that again.
Joy can be chosen, right? You can choose it.
That's good.
And that can be really hard. But, we've got friends who are going through really difficult health challenges. I think back to Wayne Clinton,
Yes.
our elder who passed away just very late last year, and how he exuded joy while going through
Yes.
the last months of his life and
It's
watching
crazy.
his body go through it, and people around him, his wife Connie, often exhibited joy in the midst of that. So there's that component of choosing joy, and I think this is something to think about. If you're considering maybe putting this sign up in your yard, because this is something you get, and really that's what we're telling people. It's like, don't put the sign about joy in your yard if you're a grump. And
If you're the Grinch, please don't do this.
Don't do this.
It's like when you're a bad driver and you have a bumper sticker that says "I love Jesus"
Yeah,
on the back.
absolutely.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, it's forgiven. Well, I'm not forgiving you for that lane change. I'm sorry. Even Jesus hates you for that. But so if you're considering the joy sign, it'd be really worthwhile considering those ideas that joy is it's chosen, and that it's not about your circumstances. And maybe you're one of those people. Some people just have the gift of joy, don't they?
Yeah, well, I was just going to speak to that. I remember I took a group of high schoolers to the Dominican Republic. and we went into the villages, right? And there was poverty to the next level, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the one thing every high schooler said was, why do they have so much joy?
Yeah.
Because they're living in huts, like 10 people to a
Yeah.
room this size.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here like, we're struggling. We're not happy. We don't have joy. And it was like, well, they do. So what do they have? And I think that's the big point of like joy is chosen.
Yeah. Yeah. And we saw the same thing in Africa, Malawi. We saw the same thing in Brazil too. So, show and tell, we're wrapping this up. So we're saving the big one for last. That was fundraiser for Super Bowl. If the kids got more than 3K, then Pastor Alex was going to do this. That is a beautiful thing. That is like, you know what you need is a unicorn horn
Just
to set that off.
You know,
That is My Little Pony level.
my hockey team said, why did you let a unicorn poop on your head? That's what they said.
Is that what they said, poop?
They said different words. But
This hockey team said poop. Sure they did. That is beautiful. Stop. Move your hand out of the way. Let's see it.
Okay.
Just let it sit there. That is some serious emo stuff right now. you need to write me a poem about how your soul
when
hurts.
I was a young boy, my father took me into the...
Thanks for being here. We're out now. That's enough showing and telling. Nice work.
That's enough.
Looks good.